Okay, great. So now I am recording. And yeah, so welcome everybody. I'm seeing a lot of Stephanie lately. This has been really fun. And I want to say, Stephanie, how much I appreciate you you show up and follow through, and I really appreciate that. And I've noticed in the last however long we've been doing this, 3 months, I guess, 4 months, um, you have become more at ease with being online and with the tech.
Yeah,
And you are, uh, and in terms of presence, that really translates. I mean, it's like you're, you, I see that you are more comfortable.
yeah, thank you very much. I actually bought a camera and audios or a microphone thingy. That's what
Cool.
for my big for my tower for my big desktop computer, and I thought I wouldn't know how to do it or use it or whatever, and so I have a friend that's a cabbie. A, what do you call it, cabbie stylist anyway, and I usually host a party for her. And so I had trouble getting on there with their app with my iPad. So she suggested that. So I thought, well, I'll do it. And then I called, I got it from is it Best Buy? Good guys. I can't remember. Some are gone, some aren't. Anyway, and I called to see how to install it, and they were just making me go around the moon telling me I needed new software and blah, 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 blah. So I called her. Anyway, I just plugged it in, and she sent me a link, and I clicked on the link, and there I was. So,
And it sounds really good,
yeah.
and you look good, and that's great.
Yeah,
I
and it's
just
bigger space. I mean, I can see it's a bigger screen for me, which
good.
makes me happy. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
and the quality of the audio is good. I mean, you sound good and you look good, which is great. So I just got off of a call with Elaine Hausman, who I'm going to have her come and present to us, because what she does is she's a video mentor. So she helps people look good on camera and also get their message across um, in the best way possible. And I really, really like her a lot. And I've been on 2 sessions with her now. And I just think she has a whole lot to offer us, all of us, and me in particular, because I'm kind of thinking, okay, where am I going to go from here? What's going to happen with this group in the next 3 months? What is going to happen with my business in the next 3 months? And as much as I want to get out and be with people and do more in-person things, uh, workshops and speaking and networking and all of that stuff that I love to do, I'm not sure that it's going to look as much like it. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to look like it did 2 years ago or 5 years ago. It's going to look different. And it's going to be a hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid of online and in person, and probably more online first as we get more in person. So, in order to integrate that into moving forward, I think that having a good presence on video is important. I really do, and it becoming even more important. So I'm looking forward to Elaine coming and talking to all of us, and probably I plan to probably do some one-on-one with her too, because I've seen who she's worked with, and I've read their testimonials, and now I've actually been following her on Instagram and watching, looking at her website and reading testimonials and stuff. And I think, okay, she's the one. I need her. Okay, so
When is she coming?
I don't know yet. I'm a planner. I have to plan out my my agenda for the next couple months. and there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot of really good stuff going on, which is what I think I'll just open with. And that is, this past couple weeks has been great. Stephanie was able to come to the mastermind in the Brilliant Zone, and that was great because it interfaced with what we were doing at the Think with Purpose. Or I'm thinking now we're kind of morphing it to Think on Purpose. Goes so well with what is happening with the playbook with Posting with Purpose. And I intentionally did that. I mean, I didn't really, it wasn't serendipitous. It was intentional that we, that the mastermind in the Brilliant Zone become a enhancement and a continuation of what we do in this group. And it was awesome. The weather system process is just amazing to me. And I'm going to share my screen because I pulled up, and you guys don't need to look at me anyway. Although I have to say, thank you, Victoria, for helping me look good on camera. I appreciate that. And I have so much fun. And I do it like every day, even though I'm not going to be on camera. But I love what you told me to do with my makeup. I mean, it's awesome. And I have so much fun with it. And I look good.
Dude,
Thank you.
it just enhances what your inner beauty is, Susan. You're always beautiful.
Thank you.
Now you glow.
Yes, I do.
I think I have to talk to Victoria. I
Yeah,
can't stand wearing
could
makeup.
Victoria do a session for us?
She actually did an intro that was awesome, which you can watch on the recordings. But yes, I think that would be a fun thing to do going forward, is to maybe have you do a demo, a how-to.
Sure, I'll come naked,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
and the transformation.
Perfect.
And can you do it in 2 seconds?
You could do it to yourself. That would be
I know, but I hate wearing any kind of makeup stuff at all. So, and I feel like I could use something for on camera, but that's why I asked, can you teach me how to do it in 2 seconds?
Yeah, 2 seconds. It takes me less than 5 minutes. And that's to do both the skincare piece and the application of the makeup piece, less than 5 minutes. I mean, it's like quick. And the other day I was walking around without makeup. Oh, it was when I came back from your place, Victoria. And Bob says, "What's wrong with you? Are you sick?" I said, "No, I just don't have any makeup on."
Well, it's kind of like the difference between male birds and female birds, The female birds, they kind of are not as bright.
That we need enhancement. Yeah.
Just a tiny bit. It's part of our femininity.
Yes.
But I think we can do something that's suitable for anyone that's quick. I have worked with many, many women over the years, all different levels of what they want. So yes, it's possible, Stephanie.
It is. And
I get ready in the morning so fast. I think I throw everything at the mirror and it bounces back.
Well, when you said
And I learned
And then
to
you
do
look
it.
so gorgeous.
5 minutes for makeup, I take five minutes to take my shower and wash my hair. And, so I've got to keep it. I can't, anyway, we'll talk about it later. I can't stand the idea of even putting stuff on my face. So there we go. Okay, so I have.
Yeah, we'll do a
lessons
session. I
to
think
learn.
that would be a
That'd be
fun
fun.
thing.
I wish Stephanie could be the model for it.
I wish too, but wait,
Where
Yeah.
is she? Where are you?
I'm in San Jose, but one of my closest friends lives in Grass Valley, and I keep saying I'm going to go have a visit. But I'll talk with her.
yeah,
Yes, you need to come up.
that would be
And
great.
then I could meet all you guys. Well, and I know Susan, but I could meet
Yeah.
some of you in person.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll
Yeah.
treat you to the goddess chamber.
Whoa.
It is an experience you will never forget, and you will become addicted. So then you'll have to come up to Grass Valley like every month.
No,
Okay.
it would be
Okay,
my pleasure.
Okay. All right.
So-
We'll talk.
I'm gonna pull up these little visuals just so you can see. So we did this mastermind in the Brilliant Zone, Think with Purpose, with Celia Gates, who is the author of this book that you see right here, Energizing Fresh Thinking, and the creator of this weather system. So, like me, Celia is a systems thinker, and she's also a what do they call it? An agile designer. I can't remember the term that is. Anyway, she's a systems. She develops systems, and she developed this system of thinking outside the box, of pushing yourself to think creatively rather than the same old, same old. And she calls it lateral thinking. And it's really to help you get multiple perspectives about any issue that you're exploring. So it can be literally anything. And in the context of what we're doing with Posting with Purpose, what I posed in the session for myself was where am I going with my company, with the co-creation community? What I think that the people who came, who were part of our group, I think that many of them probably posed a question about their creative endeavor. Where am I going to take this? Or what am I going to do with this idea that I have, or whatever? You can literally do any kind of exploration to broaden your thinking about any question. And it gives you develop a mind map. So you see here in this photograph is a photograph of the book, and the book walks you through every step that we did on Wednesday, and you develop a mind map. Now your mind map is yours. It looks however you want. So here's one that Lori did 2 years ago when I facilitated this for the Posting with Purpose workshop back then. And hers, of course, looks different than this. Stephanie's probably looked different. Just Stephanie said she had pages and pages of notes. Dee showed us yesterday what she did. Hers was on a ginormous piece of paper. It was like a roll of butcher paper.
Like big roll of butcher paper that you keep feet after feet after feet.
It was huge. So she really got into creating her map in big time. Mine looks different than all of these, but you create your own map, mapping your thinking, asking the question that's in the middle. So in this case, she was developing a platform prior to her book being launched. How should she approach this and getting her book published? That was her question back then. And Celia, facilitating, walked us through all of the aspects of whether, WEATHER, to discover whether, WHETHER, to do this or to do that. Well, you come out with this really interesting multi-perspective of your problem or your question. And then what you do from that point on is, what is winning? And then you set goals. Now, goals often sound really hard and boring. And, it's like writing a New Year's resolution, which I don't do anymore. I do something totally different that is very much something I value a lot at the end of the year and the beginning of the year. I don't like calling goals either. So what I did, let's see, let me make sure that I'm sorry I'm sharing all of this, but I have to follow my schedule here. So that leads us into what we are going to be talking about today, which are what I call the GACTS of life. And so before we launch into that, I want to before we launch into that, I'd like to know, and I'll unshare my screen. I can find the little gizmo. Just when I think I'm getting really good at this, I then think, okay, where did it go? Where did the thing to
It's just like getting a pet or a child to do what they do all the time until somebody comes and then you say, watch this, and they sit and look at you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I know that it has to be up here somewhere. Where did it go?
I don't even know what you're looking for.
I'm looking, oh, there it is. I was covering it up with our pictures. I wanted to stop sharing the screen. There we go, so that we're all on there again. And I would like to hear each one of you, take a minute. I think you can time yourself, or we can just sort of, give a, what we think is about a minute. Don't go on and on. About what do you think is winning for your creative endeavor? Because that's what we've been talking about all of this time, is what it is that you are ultimately going to be posting with purpose about. What is your creative endeavor? Now, when we did the purpose statements, you stated your creative endeavor. You've been thinking about that in terms of your why and your vision and your mission and your mantra. And so what does winning look like for you in, let's say, the next 3 months and the next maybe year? And Stephanie, if you want, you could actually start it out and you could talk about whatever your weather system experience brought up, what your question was and what.
Yeah, that was, I think you guys know I'm a holistic wellness consultant, nutritional coach and educator. I do emotional healing. I teach people how to do that work, Kairos therapy. And I've been a body worker. I haven't done that for a long time, but that's kind of how I got started. But I got my bachelor's degree from UC Santa Cruz in holistic health, and which I never tell anybody about that. I'm thinking probably sometimes that might be something interesting to somebody. But what the class with Celia brought up for me is my absolute passion for healing the earth and healing the soil. And I've been working with a large group of people that are working with climate change and that kind of thing, and bringing the soil back to its forest days. So before humanity was on the planet, we started wrecking everything. So I'm working on creating a food forest in my backyard, and this is not my money thing. It's cost me money. So, but I'm really looking for people that are interested in sharing both the work and the harvest, and also teaching people what I know about regenerating soil and how that affects the planet and the whole environment in like the climate change, because it's actually something we really have to do in order to bring the climate back to where it was when the skies were really blue and we had lots of rain, that kind of thing. So we talked about what came up with that is just, well, you know someone, Susan said she knew somebody in Santa Clara Valley that I could connect with. And anyway, so my thing is to have people be involved with that, and also to educate people, and also children, and my grandchildren coming over tomorrow. My grandson is 7. He said he wanted to dig in my yard, and my son's going to bring him over and let him do it. And so we're gonna plant. I have seeds, so I'm going to help them. I'm going to plant some for myself in little pots, and for them, they can plant their own and take them home. And then I also have tomato plants and zucchini and cucumber that we're going to plant in the ground, and then however often they want to come and check. But you know, for me, it'll be beginning to educate them about, you know, how to take care of the soil and how to plant, and that we really need to start raising our own food for ourselves and for other people, because there's that, whatever those guys are called, Monsanto and the bad seed. That should be the name of the movie.
That's great. And I think that there's a lot of potential for what we're going to be doing after we do this little round.
I don't know if that's what you were
To
asking.
focusing on what is winning in the next 3 months. So
My thing that came up really quickly about that was, for me, winning would be doing something that makes me happy and that I love doing, and also that gives other people nourishment. And it can be happiness nourishment, it can be just knowledge nourishment. It doesn't just have to be food, it can be whatever way it supports and nourishes them, and that makes me happy.
good.
To really support other people in learning about themselves and learning about what they love and how they got here from there, and what
Right.
pain
Yeah.
may still be there, that kind of thing,
Good.
that can be healed. And so, yeah, so
Good.
that was the main thing, was what really makes me feel happy.
Good.
What I
Great.
love doing. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Well, thank you. Okay, Victoria, you want to share what would winning look like to you in the next 3 months and maybe the next year?
My gosh. I'm kind of off my beat today. I'm sidetracked with this new engagement thing came on me. For me, to coordinate with my daughter, our office space would be winning. We're kind of overlapping because we're getting, you know, people are coming out from everywhere wanting an appointment, and it's hard. It's just hard juggling the space. So that's my immediate I guess, figuring out a way to organize that with her.
Mhm.
Um,
Great.
I really need Susan to learn how to post.
Yes, we all do. And
I don't know how.
that's
And I
coming.
guess,
I promise that is on its way. And I think that it will make a whole lot of difference knowing, having a purpose for posting and knowing what you're posting and why you're posting it when we get to the point of actually posting. And I'm hoping that will be as soon as next week, that we actually do that. Because otherwise, otherwise it's just, there's no point. There's no point. Our lives are way too busy to just do random stuff, and that has no point and no purpose to it.
so I would like to be able to know how to do that and probably post something wonderful once a month, because I have an existing practice that's pretty time consuming.
Yeah.
So that perhaps once a month, that would be my goal, to know how to do that well. And then I would like to, I mean, I have orders, like today I had some nice orders. I guess my website to compensate the days that I plan on not hands-on work, so that I have time to write.
Yes, good. Okay. And that's
the ultimate.
I think it's all doable. And I think that what will really help is having a structure within which to organize your plan to do that. And that's what we'll be getting into. Okay. Yay. So Sarah, how about you?
I feel a little bit like Victoria, and I'm not quite on it right now. And I need to say I have to go at 2 because I have a Zoom call at 2 that I have to be on. I apologize. Let me get centered here. You know what threw me off is that they've changed PayPal all around. And I was trying to send some invoices, and whenever I hit that kind of thing, I always think I'm doing something wrong. And finally I decided, no, they just reorganized this. They've changed it. Anyway, so that's what I was doing right before I came on, and it was very frustrating. Okay. Maybe that helps. Does that help?
Yeah, tapping.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's what I look like. I look like I'm tapping. I don't know how to tap. I'm just tapping. What would be, what's a question, Susan?
What does winning
What does
look like
winning
to
look
you?
like for me in 3 months and then a year? I can't think out to a year. I just right now, but 3 months, 3 months winning. I don't know what this means, but I would have traction with Prime Spark. I would really feel like I'm on my way, and know exactly how I want to move forward with it. And I found more people than I have right now who want to move forward with me.
Great. So so you said you're not quite sure what this looks like. So with traction with Prime Spark, what is traction?
I think it's the second part of what I said, that there are X, and I probably need to be clear about that, but X number of women who have joined me and want to keep moving ahead to make Prime Spark a movement.
Okay.
So that we have made a commitment to work toward changing the way our society sees and treats older women.
Okay,
And there's X number of women who have joined me in that. And I don't know what the X is right now.
great. And
But
so,
it's more than two. It's more than two, and it's probably less than 2,000 realistically in the next 3 months. So it's something between 2 and 2,000.
that's a good goal. That's great. And I think too, that what I would encourage you to do, maybe when we start doing this goal stuff, is really defining what moving forward means too. For you, not just for Prime Spark, but for what are they going to do to move the movement forward?
Right.
You know, what actions are they going to commit to
Right.
do? And I have you know, I'm part of Prime Spark, so I kind of see it from the inside out as
Yeah.
well as the outside in.
That's
And-
very helpful.
And so would be something that I would like to see you focus on, so that I would know how to fit within that framework myself. That would help me.
That would help me.
Okay, good, great.
And
Well-
it would help me for Victoria to tell me how to look better on screen, because there are days when I spend from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon online.
Isn't it
I think
crazy?
it's crazy. And I'm so exhausted at the end of that, I can almost not get to the couch. And I think I've done a lot with my background, but I haven't done anything with me.
Well, good. Well, I will schedule that as soon as possible, because I think that both what Victoria can offer in that way and what Elaine can offer in that way, they mesh. And so maybe that it'll happen sooner rather than later. And it would be great for all of us. I think you look lovely. And
Well, thank you, Susan.
I
have a nude face today. Oftentimes when I'm going to be on all the time, I have some makeup and some eye stuff, which you can't see through my glasses anyway, but I know it's there.
Yeah,
But this morning, everything started just the moment my feet hit the ground, and I haven't done one thing. So
You,
But it
you
looks
look
good.
lovely.
you really do look great, because your sweater, your glasses, your flowers are all in the same, they're coordinated, and your background is simple enough that, you know, you see the book, and composition wise, artistically, I think you've done an excellent job. Even your
Yes.
lipstick is right in that right area.
that lipstick is
No, she does.
on Zoom. It's not on me.
Yeah.
You can put lipstick on Zoom, so you don't have to worry about that part of it.
Oh, well, that's
Oh,
interesting. Well, they did a good job.
Yeah. Go to stop video. Go to choose video filter.
Oh,
Go to studio effects down in the right-hand side. There you've got eyebrows, mustache. I don't think we want to do that, but if you do, there it is. And there's lip color.
So what did you say?
wow.
Go to stop video, and then what are the next steps? Please.
Let me do it over again, because I don't know without doing it. Go to stop video.
Uh-huh.
Go to choose video filter.
Okay.
And go in the right-hand corner down at the bottom, studio effects. Oh, I have a paid version of Zoom. If you don't have a paid version of Zoom, you may
Okay.
not be able to do it.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that part. Sorry. Let me show you just quickly one other thing you can do, though, if at some point. I'm sorry, I just love to play with this.
it is.
You can have a party hat.
That's great.
Can you apply blush?
Yeah.
Put some blush on.
Oh, no, you can't. I thought you could. I
Well,
thought I did. I thought I did that once.
Yeah, it looks like you have blush on.
Yeah.
It looks like you applied it.
Sparkles on her glasses.
Oh, I think that came on with my,
Your hat.
Oh,
Okay, I want this. This is good.
isn't this fun?
I was gonna say I wouldn't have to put any makeup on then if I just.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, this would be perfect, Stephanie.
$14 a month.
It is. I'm really sorry because this happened another time. When I was learning it, we totally got lost in whatever Zoom call we were supposed to do as we all learned how to do it because it is so addictive.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, the thing too about Zoom is you can put it on when it's just you and play with it too.
Right.
And if you need to pump yourself up. you can
Yeah,
just-
the thing they need to do next is put it like with a really pretty business top, so you really could have your pajama top on and it would look like you were.
Nice.
But since we're all walking around with our pajama bottoms, we might as well have something to cover up our pajama top.
It's all how you feel.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
I'm sorry, Susan.
It's okay. It was a good segue to what we want to do today is talk about, and I put my screen share up again. I'm going to go down to what is winning. This was actually, for those of you who weren't at the workshop, we are going to be doing it again. That's one of the things that has come out of this is Celia and I have kind of taken it to the next level with follow-up with anybody who wanted to go into a follow-up session. We're calling it Up Spiral. And it's more time on Zoom, but not a whole lot. It's like every other week, a Zoom meeting to follow up individually on stuff. And I think it's going to be really helpful because once you figure out what is winning, there are ways to define how to make that happen. And so this was the page from the handout. The handout, I mean, this is such a fun process. You can see it's not like any other thing that you're used to doing. It's like playing. It's like, you know, doing a workbook. I don't know. I love doing this kind of stuff. And some people don't. And so if they don't, then it's not for them. But for me, if I can make it seem like play, then for me, it works to do it. So
is that available to those of us who weren't on, or was that only available to the people who were on?
It was only available to the people who were on, but you can join Up Spiral and you will be, you know, we'll nurture you along with Up Spiral, because the way that we decided to do the Up Spiral is to once a month do what we did last Wednesday, a full-on session facilitated for doing the weather system. That takes a couple hours. We had a 3-hour session and we pretty much filled up the whole session with the process. And
what does weather stand for?
Whether this, whether that.
Oh, okay.
It's weather system. And so what you can do is buy the book. And
I just tried to do that and I couldn't get it to go through.
oh, did you use, what link did you use for that?
I went to her site and tried to buy the book and
Okay.
it didn't work.
All right. I can talk to you about that later. I have a link to buy it too. So one or the other will work.
Okay, thank you.
I know I should tell her link is not working. If it's
No,
not,
it may be something I did. It was when I tried to go to PayPal and it was all in French. And so I may have filled it out wrong.
That's because she's living in France.
I know it. Oh, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up. Sorry.
So that's one way to get your head around what it is to buy the book. The other way would be to next month, it'll be on the 12th of March, 12th of, what are we, May 12th. We're going to do it again. It's long, so it's hard to fit into your schedules in the middle of the day, I know. Or it's from 10 to 1 on May 12th. And then you get this handout because that's part of the process. She gives you the map to, and the handout. Then the other thing you could do is you could join Up Spiral, because we will be talking in the group about the process and breaking it down even more. And there will be every other week, every 2 weeks, there is a 1 hour Zoom call where 2 people will kind of have the hot seat to really drill down on what they need to what they need at that time. So, and then, so if you're going to buy the book, I can send you this handout too. But if you may not even need it if you buy the book. So, okay. So, moving on, what I want to talk about is what I sent out, and that is goal setting, kind of taking the next step after you figure out what is winning. In business, we set goals all the time. And I learned in running my business that was critical to success. And I actually, Bob and I co-owned our company. And so we joined a mastermind that we were in for 8 years. And this was composed of 12 companies throughout the United States who were in the same exact business as we were. We were matched with these companies on revenue, how much money annually we were making, the revenue, and whether we were partners or not. So all of the companies were partnerships, many of them husband-wife, and some just partners. And one gay woman couple, they were awesome, from Texas. And we would go every 6 months to one of these companies throughout the United States, and we would critique the business, and we would set goals. And we would set goals for that business that we were critiquing, but we would also set goals for ourselves. And these goals were broken down into what we called at the time the SOAP sort, SOAPT. S was sales, O was owner, A was administration, P was production, and T was team. So we had to set goals in all of those categories, and then they had to be looked at as to whether they were 3-month goals, 6-month goals, 1-year goals, or ongoing. This process, every 6 months, we were away at this other business for 4 days. It was a whole day worth of goal setting. And then in the beginning of this mastermind meeting, we had to look at our goals and see if we'd accomplished them. And if we hadn't accomplished them, there were consequences. And we set the consequences as either something funny and humiliating or money. And so there were times that we had to pay like $500 for every goal that we did not accomplish. That hurt. There were other times that if you didn't accomplish a goal, you had to go stand in the lobby of the hotel and sing. So for me, standing in the hotel lobby and singing was enough of an incentive not to, I did not want to do that. I'd do anything to accomplish that goal. That held me accountable. The money, that didn't hold me accountable, because I figured, well, we're making more money now because we're doing all this stuff and we could track it. And who cares if I have to pay $500 because I didn't do something? That wasn't something that worked for me in terms of accountability. So what I learned, and I'm not going to do anything if it's not fun. So what I learned is what they taught me about setting SMART goals. And I think that you guys probably have gone over SMART goals sometime in your life, but they're valuable and I think worth knowing and looking at how we set goals. So I sent out this paper, this piece of the playbook, which actually outlines what SMART goals are. The S is for specific and strategic, and it needs to be linked to your vision and your mission. Everything is linked to your why, your vision, your mission, your mantra. Your goal has to answer the question who and what. Measurable. You need to be able to measure success. What does success look like? What does winning look like? And you've got to know what that is. So I think that this question, what does winning look like? And then further on, how do you achieve that? Who's going to help you achieve that? And what are you going to do to achieve that is important. Attainable. You've got to be realistic about this stuff. I mean, it's one thing to say, I'm going to be a millionaire I'm going to be a millionaire. I mean, I heard that from my son so many times. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but let's be realistic. And maybe it is realistic if you set the goal appropriately, but you need to make sure that they're attainable. And that's why I think it's really important to set goals according to a timeline. So if a 3-month timeline really works for me, 90 days, it's interesting. 90 days is what they say, doing something consistently every single day for 90 days, you develop a habit. 90 days is a quarter in terms of business and financials. And so, plus to me, 9 is a magic number. So 90 days, 3 months is a really good time frame to set a goal for. You can really work it. And then at the end of that time, it's really important to examine what's working, what's not. Shall I keep doing this, or shall I just throw this in the trash and do something else? That's really important. And this is super important in terms of posting with purpose. If you post consistently for 90 days, you'll be able to see if there are results that you want to, and whether you want to continue it or not. If you post haphazardly with no purpose, and you post, I'll post once this week, and maybe I'll post something in a month, and maybe I'll post, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think that the attainable and time specific is really important. relevant. It needs to be relevant. There's no point. I'm sure learning this is being emphasized now that I'm 70. There's no point in doing anything if it's not relevant to your life. If it's not fun, and that's one of my core values, have fun. So if I'm not going to have fun, it's not relevant to what I'm all about. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to get any results if my goals aren't aligned with the things that are important to me. No point. Time framed. I think I covered this too, that we need to have a time and a target deadline so that we know what we're working for. So I framed this little SMART goal based on what I was exploring in the weather system. I was exploring, what does the co-creation community look like? Where am I going with the co-creation community? So one of the things is, when I started this 4 months ago, I said, okay, I'm going to have some Boomer Zoomer meetups. Well, that's not a SMART goal. Turning that into a SMART goal would be, the Posting with Purpose Play Shop will host Boomer Zoomer meetups on Zoom Fridays from 1 to 2:30 p.m., 1.5 hours, once a week for 3 months, 90 days, beginning on February 19th. I'm going to block calendar and reassess after 12 sessions. Cover the material in the playbook chapters, and the Play Shop members will gain clarity, focus, and direction on their why, their vision, their mission, their who, how they differentiate, message and mantra. They will set goals, explore tactics, potential collaborators and partners, and be ready to communicate their purpose online and in social media, starting on February 19th and ending on May 21st. Okay, so I've gone through every one of these SMART measures and composed the goal with all of that in mind. It's very specific, has a lot of information in there, tells how it's aligned and relevant. It tells what I'm gonna do. It gives me an action plan to examine. Guess what? May 21st, I have to look at this and see, did I accomplish this? How did it go? What worked? What didn't work? What can I change to make it better? So in terms of Sarah's goal, you can see, if you write it out as a SMART goal, you can drill down and you can get really specific about what you need to do in order to accomplish what you're envisioning happening, what your goal is to do in the next 3 months with your Prime Spark group. Then I developed this several years ago because I really, really think that we always circle back to our core values, our vision, our mission, our mantra, who we serve, who we are trying to communicate with. And we've developed these smarter goals. So we do the SMART goals, and then we make sure that our goal is significant and simple. It satisfies our vision. Motivational and meaningful. And this is where I think that if we can get into mantra mind, that mantras help motivate us. If we have developed a mantra that's full of verbs, which is what we talked about a couple weeks ago, that we will be motivated to do things. And what there's no point in having a goal if we're not motivated to achieve it. And maybe we need accountability, like having to sing in the lobby of the lobby of the hotel to keep us motivated and accountable.
Susan, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go, but I love this. And I love these smarter goals.
Good.
Just love it. And I'm going to come back and do those. So thank you very much.
Good. And let me, before you leave, I will say this because I'm going to say it at the end too. I would love you guys to post some of your stuff in that Facebook group, because when you post what you're working on, you post your goal, and I can look at it and I can say, well, is it motivational? What's motivating you here? Is it meaningful? What can you drill down on to make it more motivational, more meaningful, more relevant, more resonant, more timely, more ethical, enjoyable, engaging, reaching and rewarding. We can all pipe in on each other's stuff, and it gets to be much easier, and we get those other perspectives that are really valuable. So do that.
I will post.
Good. Thank you. And you have in the past, and I appreciate that.
Hi, Sarah.
Bye, Victoria. Bye, Stephanie.
Nice to see you.
Bye, Susan.
Bye-bye.
Susan, I don't know how to post on there.
I know. I need to come give you another lesson, a private lesson.
Don't know how to post on there. I don't have this smarter goals thing. Was that sent to me?
Yes, I was emailed to you.
It was.
Yes, on Sunday. On Sunday, I email out the next chapter. So this was the chapter. We're going to be doing GACTS, the GACTS of life. Goals are the first GAC.
Okay. I think I was looking for this because I have printed other things that you have sent on Sunday. Okay. So
Well,
Sunday.
I'll resend it so that you can get it.
Because I thought I must have something to do for today, and I couldn't find it.
It was the goal. But
nice.
So
I see Mastermind Brilliant Zone. That's the last thing I received.
Uh-oh. Well, I better check my email for you. I didn't see anything bounce back. Weird. But I'll check. So
it's probably me. Oh, go ahead.
So going through these, I don't know who is with us. That's iPhone 530-517-0466. Who is that? Oh well.
Dee.
Who?
It's Dee.
Oh,
it's Dee.
I thought you were at the dentist.
I got out. I'm in my car.
Oh,
sounds
okay.
like the dentist.
Well, good. Hi. I'm glad you joined us.
Can you see me or just see my phone number?
I would just see your phone number.
Okay. All right. So I just tuned on about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, good. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we've been kind of disjointed here anyway, so you'll have to watch the repeat, but know that no worries. We've been kind of all over the map anyway. So
we're catching up.
Yes. So back to the smarter goals. I think that after we form our SMART goal, that then we can look at and see if they are truly smarter. Significant, simple, satisfies vision, motivational, meaningful, aligned and action focused, relevant and resonant, timely, of the moment and mindful, ethical, enjoyable, engaging, reaching and rewarding. Because if they're all those smarter things, we're going to get them done. They're going to work for us. if they're just a boring SMART goal, which motivates some people, especially if you have to be accountable and sing in the in public, then you can write, here it is, there it is, it's all written out. But I get much more jazzed when I start thinking about, okay, is it smarter too? I think also when we choose to set goals, first thing, don't set too many. 3 max, because 3 is a good number. It's too hard to set a whole bunch of goals for 90 days. You just won't get them done. Stephanie, you have a question?
I do. Is this on in some email that's that can be printed out, the form for SMART goals?
I emailed them on Sunday.
Okay.
So there, and if you can't find them in your email, you can always go onto the website in the library, and it's the co-creation community /library. And in the library, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll show you.
That's actually been in some of the emails I think I've seen.
A lot of people say, well, where is it? So
Yeah.
here
Okay.
it is. Oops, I'll show you how to do it. Okay. Oh, you can't do it this way. I hid this from everybody, because it's private. But for you guys, all you have to do is go to the cocreationcommunity.com library.
Co-creation.
The co-creation community
The co-creation community.
/library.
Is it a .com after
Yes,
community?
yes, the cocreationcommunity.com
And then
/library.
Oh, I must be learning something. I remembered that
Okay.
.com along
Good for you. And I rattle it off without it, so I appreciate that. So here you are at the library. You log in, the co-creation community /library. Here's what you see when you get there, and I gotta move everybody over so I can scroll. Now, I've set this up so that all you have to do is, if you want to get a Boomer Zoomer recording, you click there. If you want to get the playbook chapters, which is where this goals thing is, you click there, it'll shoot you right down the page. You find the right one. So we're talking about the GACTS of life. That was what it was called. And you click on PDF, and that will download it for you. Okay.
Thank you very much. I know I've seen this before. I looked at
I
it.
have too, but I didn't know how to get back there.
Okay.
I
So
forget.
just the cocreationcommunity.com /library. You can also just scroll like this and find what you want. So it's got the recordings are all here. And so you can go back and you can listen to any one of them. And then you've also got the playbook chapters, and then extra resources and downloads here. So if you wanted to get, you wanted to read Mama Red's Avatar story, if you are trying to write an Avatar story and you don't remember what we were talking about, you can read hers. The interview with Gunhild and Julia about how Julia's using Zoom with her grandchildren. I love that. That's here. My friend Simon talking about the why. All of these things, and I will be loading up even more. But right now, I think what you really need to know that is in here are the repeats or the recordings of any of the meetups that we've had, and the playbook chapters. They're all here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other, well, that's enough for now. That's, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much stuff. So with the goals, when you're setting your goal, you also need to consider, are there any non-goals? What don't you want to do? And think about that. And when we did the weather system, it was the rain, you know, the rain modality is where you look at, you know, the worst case scenario, or, you know, I really don't want to be spending my time on Zoom calls every Friday. You know, that may be what you're going through your head. So you don't want to set a goal to have a Zoom call every Friday if you don't want to be on Zoom anymore, right? I mean, that's something to think about. Are there any obstacles? What kinds of things can get in the way of you accomplishing your goals? You've got to think of what those obstacles are. So, Victoria, you have a goal, a short-term goal, 3 months, of getting your office organized so that both of you sharing the office can function in the way that you need to function for your business and not tear each other apart and be happy with your space and with your workload.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the obstacles to that? You've got to know what hurdles you have in front of you. And sometimes there are obstacles that are insurmountable. And I would say if there is an obstacle that is insurmountable, then that's not a goal to set, because you'll fail. But if you look at you look at obstacles as hurdles, okay, what could be an obstacle to this organization? It may be that, oh, here's a good one. Maybe there's not enough space in your current place that to actually do what you need to do in order to generate income, revenue, to keep the business moving forward. That may be an obstacle. That obstacle is not something that is insurmountable. That obstacle actually can be turned into another goal. And I'm thinking specifically about what you told me about the space across the way that has much more space, costs 3 times as much as where you're at, but that could be a goal, to get into that space in 6 months. And so how would you do that? You break that down, and it would relate to your short-term goal of 3 months, because you could be working toward the bigger space, which would actually solve the goal for the getting organized, and you could focus your time on and your energy on creating the business that will bring in the revenue to be able to move to the new office.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. And then how do you do that? I mean, it's like peeling the onion. You've got to, first of all, state what your goal is. And then, is it smart? You go through all the SMART criteria. Is it smarter? And then peel the onion back. Okay, how do we do that? What steps do we take? And who might we connect with that could help us move this forward? Because I think a lot of the accomplishing your goals is going to be dependent on the connections that you have and that you make that are relevant and resonant with your goal. And I think that is relevant to Stephanie's goal of short-term goal, maybe, and I don't know, you'll have to state this the way you want to state it, but let's say it is, in 3 months, I will have my garden in my home up and running. I mean, that's kind of not, it can get smarter than that, a lot smarter than that.
Yeah, I actually having my son and my grandkids come over on tomorrow.
Right.
To
So,
help me plan, I'll get the planning done and the things.
and that is those are connections. Those are
Right.
the connections that you're going to need in order to accomplish, in
Right.
part, that goal. There are also other connections to maybe a longer term goal, which might be to be able to share this this concept with a broader group of people, and the education piece of it. And, I'd have to really sit down and get my
Yeah, there's a lot
mind
more
around
to
it.
it for me because ideally I would have like a year-round garden, so there would be, planting, harvesting, removing, or whatever you do with the dead plants,
Right. So,
replacing them with winter food and that kind of thing. That's one, yeah.
yeah.
So I just have I hope it's a quick question. I have obviously need to make money, and I love my healing practice as well. And my nutrition and stuff is what brings my money in. And I end up I'm one of those people that get really distracted. I take on 5,000 things and then don't do anything really well. Or, when I'm working, I do it very well when I'm seeing clients, but getting the clients in and, that kind of thing is, I just get really distracted with doing the garden, wanting to find people that'll help me and that kind of thing. And then not focusing on where I actually make money.
Right. And so I think that what I would encourage you to do is look at your map.
Mhm.
And what question did you pose in the center of your map? What was that question?
Are we talking about what we just,
The weather system.
weather system? Well, I have two maps. My circular map with the certainty, surprise, connection, contribution, that kind of thing.
The next one, what was the question that you posed for the going through the weather process?
I don't know.
Okay, so
I have my export ideas, and I wrote down some stuff. One of the things I wrote was is pessimistic stuff. Is I can't find anybody to help me, and I have to.
There's your connections. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is look at the big picture and I do it in terms of the weather map, all of the different modalities. How can you tie things together? Because when I look at what your ideas for the garden and the earth, what do you call it?
It's a reclamation of the earth, or
Right.
healing the soil, or
that whole concept, which included education,
right.
which included connection with other people working in the same area. It also included indigenous thought.
Right.
And then you have this other thing that in your mind is over here, which is your business and your healing modalities and all of that.
Mhm.
Think of them like this
Okay.
instead of like this. And where are the things that overlap? And what I see is when you are working your passion project, which is the garden and the working with the indigenous thought and all of this, that's your passion project. You are lit up about that.
Mhm.
That's where you want your focus to be, even though you love your other work. You
Mhm.
love your business, you love that other work. But you need that other work to support your life and your passion project.
Right.
So when you're working on your passion project, you are going to be making some connections, and these can be part of your goals, with other people and other organizations that are connected to your passion project. But guess what? Those connections, the relationships that you form with those people, and your presence with those organizations, whether that's online presence, whether that's in-person presence, whatever presence it is that you're developing with your passion project people, the relationships that you form with them, they are your who. They're your customers, they're your clients, they're the people who will gladly pay to have a Karo session.
Okay.
They are the same people. If you communicate in the right way, if your communications include your purpose statement or your mantra and your why, and it's clearly aimed at the people who would respond both to the passion project and um, the business, those people live in Silicon Valley. They do. They are there in droves. And so that's the way you're going to make money to support your passion project, is that it's the same people. It's the same people
Okay. That's
that will
something-
respond to the messaging. And
Okay.
that's why we've been focusing so much on all of this stuff, is so that our messaging, when we are posting online or speaking to a group or working out in the garden with somebody side by side, we're speaking the language that will light them up and say, oh my gosh, of course, I need to have a Karo session. You know?
Yeah, the thing I flashed on when you were talking about this, doing this, is that it's all about healing. It's about healing our mind, body, spirit in terms of my nutrition and my kairos. It's about healing the earth, which we have to have. We have to do that in order to just sustain humanity and to sustain the earth so that humanity can live on the earth. So it's really all about healing everything. It's about healing the earth, healing humanity.
Absolutely.
And that's done with the
Write that down. Write
Okay.
it down and look at what you just said. Healing, active verb.
Right.
That is an active verb that you need to underline and use in your mantra, because that's what people will respond to. People take action on action verbs. They do. That's why when we put it through that headline analyzer, the headline analyzer says about Dee's mantra is it got 33% EMV, emotional marketing value, when it didn't have verbs in it. When I started plugging in some action verbs, it jacked it up to 67% or something.
Okay. That's,
Oh,
yeah.
hi.
Yeah. So
Thank
this stuff works. It really does. there's a method to my madness.
I just, I use the word healing all the time, but
Yeah.
That's really what I'm wanting to do with the earth, what I'm wanting to help with
And I love it
humanity.
because that integration with your passion project, with your purpose statement, with your business, if it's all tied together, it is you. It is who you are. And when we are speaking and we have presence in the world, whether we're speaking online or we're speaking to a group or we're speaking to a friend or we're aligned with who we are, our core values, our vision, our mission, everything is tied together. It works. People will gladly pay for the value that you have to give and who you are. No questions asked, they just do it. And that's my ultimate wish for everybody, is that this comes with ease and grace, that we don't have to push, we don't have to pitch, we don't have to be icky about it. We just are who we are. We walk our talk and people show up, the right people. And for Victoria, the new space shows up. I have some ideas that I could share with you, Victoria, about what I was thinking when I drove by the other day and looked up at the new space. That's the other thing, visualize. If you want to manifest something, write it down.
I have no problem with that, Susan.
Do your vision board. See yourself in there every night before you go to sleep.
I have no problem with that.
Good. That part.
I have done that.
You've got that part covered. But what you have to do is you have to break it down into doable goals to get there. What does it take to get there? And I think that your goal that you're winning that you shared is a good place, a really good place to start. So, and I can see how to elaborate on that too. So we can do that later. It's almost time to go. So let me get through this really quick. You're looking at the obstacles. So you're looking at the risks. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 50 years. Risks are a part of my life. Failure is a part of my life. I've failed plenty of times, but I'm also very resilient. I pop back from failure pretty quick. Even really bad stuff has happened, but you know what? I managed to get through it. But taking a risk, if you don't take a risk, you won't ever succeed. You may fail, but you know what? You can jump off the cliff and wings will sprout. They do. Or you crash and burn and you get up and it takes 6 months to a year to mend, So, but look at the risks.
Tap it out.
No, yeah, exactly. Know what the risks are so that you don't go into things blind. You guys all know about my Costa Rica project. That is a huge risk. We risked a lot of money, a whole lot of money. We risked all kinds of things doing business in a foreign country. We had no idea really what we were getting into. And there was a lot of risk involved. It could have gone south really quick. It actually went south the last 6 months. But we survived it. And, and we learned from it. And even though we didn't make a ton of money, it was worth the risk. And the next time, we will set our goals more realistically because we learned some really interesting stuff about doing business in Costa Rica. We also learned some stuff about building with a different building methodology than we were accustomed to. You know, we never built a concrete house. You know, it's different. So risks are not bad, but go into your goal setting with that in mind. What are the risks? That's the rainy part of the weather system. Are there any relevant learnings from past projects, experiences that can be applied to your present project, creative endeavor? This is really important, and this is what you do at the end of your term. You say, okay, 3 months, I'm going to look at this. What worked, what didn't, what am I going to keep, what am I going to throw out? You do that going into the goal setting too. Okay, I think we'll just stop there because I'm going to be doing these GACTS, GACTS, GACTS of life for the next few meetings. There will be information in the library, and I'll send it out on Sunday for you to review or to work with. I would definitely encourage you, if you need to go back to the other older stuff. I wanted to kind of go over, because my goal is by May 21st, I'm going to look at what to change, what's going good, what's going bad, what needs to change up, what needs to be left behind. So in the next few weeks, there are things happening that are going to interfere with this call. Next week we will meet, and then we're going to skip this May 7th because this event is happening, which I would encourage you to, if you have a chance, to look at it and go if you can. It's all day. I have to be there all day. So that's why we can't have a call on that Friday. Yes.
Susan,
Yeah.
did you change the time on the April 30th one?
No.
Did I see 1:40 instead of 1 o'clock?
If I did, I was a boo-boo.
I see 1:40.
No, this is my agenda. This is how I time myself. So
I'm sorry. Okay, so you're talking about everything's fine for April 30th.
April
The 7th
30th.
is on.
Next week we will.
Okay.
We'll meet next week. We'll go over more GACTS of life. Then the 7th, this event happens, the Gather Showcase.
Okay.
So this will be.
Sorry, Susan, you sent this out already in an email so that we can click on for the ticket. Is it?
I will send it to you.
Okay, is it on a Zoom thing, or are you, it sounds like
This will be on Zoom. And this is a group that I recently joined. So I'm obligated to be at this event all day. You guys are welcome. I would encourage you, if you have time, to drop in. It's all day. You don't have to stay all day.
will there be a schedule so we can drop into what we'd like to drop?
Yes, there will be. And I don't know if it's up yet.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the website for a while.
Can't hear you.
There are many members in Gather who do incredibly interesting things. There will be several people presenting, I think like a half hour to 45 minutes each on their thing. And there will also be breakouts at lunchtime, of which I will have one. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but it's a half an hour at lunch and a half an hour in the afternoon. And I will probably be doing something to try to encourage people to come to Posting with Purpose or the Up Spiral. I'm sure that's what I will focus on, but I will also be, I need to build my business. I need to get revenue through the door. So I will be at this event and you guys are welcome to come. It's free. And like I said, it'll be all day. And then what happens, there's another one that we're gonna miss. Okay, so gather event and then skip May 14th. So we're gonna skip May 14th as well.
So the 7th and the 14th we're skipping.
Yeah, and the reason that I am saying let's skip the 14th is because the 12th, Wednesday, will be when Celia and I do a repeat of the weather system. The Mastermind in the Brilliant Zone, Think with Purpose.
Okay.
We're gonna try to do that once a month. And that's a big, for me, that's 3 hours of being online. And if any of you come, and you're welcome to come again, you're both, well, Dee and Stephanie are both in the Up Spiral group. So you may want to come to that again. You may not. Victoria probably has to work. It's at a really bad time for you, I realize. It's a shame. Maybe I do have the recording. If that would be helpful, I could give you the recording of the last one, Victoria, and you could at least watch it.
What it is, yes.
That what it is. And I can lend you the book.
I like the book. I would. Wednesdays, since I'm seeing about 10 clients between Monday and Wednesday, it's really tough.
Oh boy, that's
because I can't be in my space on most Thursdays.
We got to get you in less than 6 months. We got to get you into the big space.
I have a plan. I went from 4 treatment rooms to 1 that I'm sharing. It's tough because of COVID.
Yeah, and I think COVID.
I see it, but
yeah, I think that.
It's good. The blessing is I've got a plan. This helped me. My brain's tapping.
Yeah. Well, you need to get the plan in writing. I think that getting the plan mapped out in writing or in a diagram or whatever is going to really help, because then it'll give you direction. It'll give you that clarity and focus and direction to make it happen. So the other thing I wanted to encourage everybody, Dee has done this, and I'm kind of behind because I hired a VA who has disappeared on me.
What is a VA?
A virtual assistant. I hired somebody to do the back office tech piece.
Oh, right. You were talking about
the partner affiliate program. But I really would like all of you to be part of this. And you need to fill out an application if you want to do it. And this is the page. So you go onto the cocreationcommunity.com. Here over in the more, you can click on Partner Affiliate Program. See right there in the drop-down menu, click on that. You get this page that describes what I am proposing you do. And it's I think it's pretty cool. You do virtually nothing except say, I think you should meet my friend Susan. She does blah, blah, blah that I think you would really enjoy. I will introduce you to her, and either send me an email introduction or a Facebook Messenger introduction or a phone introduction, a text introduction, a personal introduction. I don't care how you introduce me, just introduce me to this person and I will take it from there. And you don't have to do anything except refer. And when you refer and that person signs up to do something with the co-creation community, and it could be anything. It could be join Posting with Purpose. It could be editing a book. It could be building a website. It could be any of the things that I do. It could be Celia and I facilitating a mastermind in the Brilliant Zone using the weather system for an organization or a corporation. You could make big money that way. You get $1,300 if you refer us successfully to, we signed to do that with somebody. I did one, I found it the other day. I did one with Sierra Roots that I was looking at it today and whoa, this was a pretty valuable thing that I did with them. So this is a possibility for you guys to make ongoing money. Now let's say, this is where I think I did something really cool. Let's say Stephanie refers Sheila to me to be part of Posting with Purpose. Actually, Stephanie did refer Kim. So that's a good example. Stephanie gets paid a commission for referring Kim. Now let's say Kim decides to have a website built. Stephanie will then make a commission on that. Let's say in a year, Kim decides to write a book and she needs it edited. Stephanie will make a commission on that. Let's say in 2 years, she decides to do something else. Stephanie will make a commission on that. It's a lifetime relationship. Once you're a referring partner, you will always be a referring partner. And everybody that you refer will, if they keep on going and doing other stuff with the co-creation community, you'll keep making money. And if you've learned anything about me so far, I'm always thinking of new things to do. So there's always new opportunities to refer people to new stuff. So this could be an ongoing income for you. Now, what you also have to do is fill out the application. So this is filled out online. You just click on that or click on the link within the description and you fill it out right here and you just fill it out and you send it in. At the end, it has a submit. Okay. Down at the bottom, you type your signature in, you click next, and you submit it. That's what you have to do. Dee has done this. Thank you, Dee. Now, what I will be doing as soon as my VA surfaces, I am going to be assigning Dee a special magic number so that any time anybody Dee refers, that magic number is attached, and anything that they do going forward, I know to send Dee money. And I send it out every quarter. Within a week or two, I think I put a week at the end of the quarter. So I think I would love you guys to do this. This would help me grow my business. And all you have to do is refer. Introduce me. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just think, if you introduce, let's say, Stephanie, you make connections with one of these organizations that is into what your passion thing is. And you say, wow, this organization could really benefit from having a weather system facilitated for the organization so that they can know how, as an organization, to move forward with their goals. You introduce me to them. I or Celia talk to them about doing this thing. They sign up. You make a lot of money, $1,800 at least. So, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, could work. Then you don't have to do anything. Okay, so that's that.
Okay.
I really appreciate you guys coming today, and I want to know from you, and since we have definitely gone over today, probably this isn't the time to do it, but I do encourage you to go into that Facebook group, and Victoria, I'm gonna have to show you how to do that, because that's where if you post your stuff, we can all work on it together. It can get better. And I would also like you, if you don't want to post it in the group, if you want to email me personally or whatever, tell me what's working, what's not. I'm going to be examining this very thoroughly on the 21st, which will be our last meeting. But I don't want to be doing stuff that isn't working for you. It makes no sense to me to, be doing stuff that isn't relevant and isn't helping. And so tell me if this is not working, or tell me what you would like to do more of. And I hear you, Victoria. We got to get to posting. We have to. So hopefully next week I will be able to at least start with that, because I think you're also close to being able to really get a message that can be consistent and can be visually impactful and really reach the people who you want to reach. You're this close. Okay. All right. So that's that for today.
And go.
It was great seeing all of you, and I hope that we get everybody on here next time. That would be nice. Okay.
We're on next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Stephanie. Bye, Dee.
Bye.
Bye, Susan.
Thank you very much.
How do I get this?
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.